This is Vargas, still recording live from the real-world Vargas Vault. And ever since I got out of Limbo, I'm still catching up on a whole bunch of collection pickups. So, did a couple of movies, did a couple of CDs and wrestling and other stuff, but I still have a couple more stuff to share. I'm about to have a son, and while my daughter, well, I had hoped that my daughter would like Star Wars. She's turning into more of a princess kind of person, and that's okay. Princess Leia is a princess, so she could still like Star Wars. But since I'm going to have a son, I'm hoping that he'll really like Star Wars. So at a flea market, I picked up these wall stickers. I already bought some of these for Force Awakens, but this is Classic Trilogy. And I think I might have done a video of those wall decals for those wall stickers for Force Awakens. Basically, they're just these big ass stickers. The previous one that I bought had Force Awakens, so they had Kylo Ren, Rey, old Han Solo, and so on. These ones have Classic Trilogy. So you have your Darth Vader, your Boba Fett, your Chewbacca, your young Han Solo, C-3PO, R2-D2, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia. So these will, I'm hoping these will look really, really cool in our son or daughter's wall. I don't know what they're like, and if they don't like Star Wars, I'll stick them in my wall once I figure out how to save some money and build a movie room. Also, at a flea market, I actually posted this already on Facebook, but I've been looking for a sonic screwdriver for the longest time. Now, if you are a geek or know anything about geek culture, you know Doctor Who. And Doctor Who is this very long-running British sci-fi show. And the thing about Doctor Who is that, so that no one actor gets stuck in a role, they introduce the concept of regeneration. So when an actor's run on a TV show is done, he goes through regeneration and he turns into a new actor with a new doctor. And one of the best sci-fi weapons, next to a lightsaber and the Lawbringer, which is Judge Dredd's gun, is a sonic screwdriver. It can be used as a defensive weapon since it generates shields. It's kind of like a tricorder because it can register or read information. It can unlock locks. It can be used as something to hack computers and stuff like that. So I've always wanted a sonic screwdriver, and I like the 10th Doctor's sonic screwdriver, but I like the 11th Doctor's a little bit more. And this is the 11th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. The 12th Doctor's is also cool. For a time he had the same screwdriver, then he had the sonic glasses, which are lame, but then he got a new sonic screwdriver. So the 12th Doctor's sonic screwdriver is also cool. If I ever come across that one, I would like to get it. And I already told my wife that if I see the 13th Doctor's sonic screwdriver, I would buy that as well, because that's the first ever female Doctor's sonic screwdriver. So even if my wife doesn't want to cosplay as the 13th Doctor, my daughter might, so I'm going to pick it up. So basically what this is an electronic toy, which I didn't show off in the last video, but you press this little button here, this one here, and it does a sound. And it lights up. Press it again, and it has a different sound. Press it 3 times, and it has like a scanning sound. And it also has a larger button here that if you press it, and that's the thing that the 10th and the 13th Doctor's sonic screwdriver did, is that it would extend, and this one extends like this. And it extends with claws. It kind of looks like a Sith lightsaber, because Sith lightsaber also extends and has claws. And also has the like that. You can just pop it back in. So super happy that I found the sonic screwdriver. It's one of the few things that I'm missing from my geek arsenal. Main thing I'm missing is the Master Sword, and if I can get the Master Sword, my arsenal is complete. But right now, sonic screwdriver, yeah, baby. Ooh, let me hack into this. So now I can cosplay as Doctor Who. Also picked this thing up because I liked the look of it. It's a nice looking sword. If you know me, I like collecting swords. Like I said, I just need the Master Sword. And I picked this one up because it looks like a nice pirate kind of sword. And I don't have a pirate looking sword. I have a bunch of lightsabers. And I don't have a medieval kind of looking sword like something you would see in Game of Thrones. I don't have the Master Sword. I didn't have a pirate looking sword. So this, I bought it because it looked cool. And I later found out that this is the sword that was used in Indiana Jones and Crystal of the Kingdom Skull. So it's an Indiana Jones prop, so pretty cool. It has like fencing sound, so I thought it was pretty cool. Buying used stuff at a flea market is a gamble. You know, sometimes the electronic things might not work because they left the batteries in and they got all corroded and that messed up the electrical thing. And sometimes you get lucky and it works, and this one works. Also has this little gimmick that if you press this button here, a little knife stabby comes out. So I thought it was pretty cool. And it's collapsible, so it collapses. The next big thing I wanted to talk about is comic books. While I was in Limbo, my comic books stacked up. Thankfully, the comic book store that I go to was kind enough to hold on to my books for as long as they did. And while it is true that I have cut back on a number of comic books, after being stuck in Limbo for so long, they tend to pile up. So I'm going to breeze through these. I haven't read all of them. I've read a couple of them, which I'm going to mention when I get to them. But I'm just going to show the covers and move really quick. I love these True Believers comic books. They're $1 each, and they reprint key Marvel comic books. This is a reprint of Wolverine Volume 1, Number 5, which has an encounter between Wolverine and Sabretooth. It kind of gives a backstory on how Wolverine and Sabretooth met up to this point. Picked up Batman 47, concluding the gift, which had Booster Gold going back in time and creating a Flashpoint paradox thing where he saved Bruce's parents. Things didn't end that well. Picked up Batman 48, where the Joker finds out that Batman is marrying Catwoman, and of course he has issues with that. Picked up Doomsday Clock issue 4, and Doomsday Clock issue 5. Picked up, finally, Action Comics number 1000, the 80-page giant, which I doubt it's 80 pages actually, but it says it's 80 pages. And it's the 1000th issue of Action Comics. The book came out in 1938. First appearance of Superman, and they kind of cheated in the numbering because when the New 52 came out, the original Action Comics run ended in 936, I believe, maybe a little less. Then they rebooted everything with a brand new number 1, and then they ran for 52 issues, and then they restarted the numbering to reach 1000. But so they kind of cheated on the numbering, but I guess you could say consecutively each month for 80 years, Action Comics came out, even though there was a time where it released bi-monthly. But it's pretty good. It has a lot of neat stories, but it has a short by Brian Michael Bendis, who's going to take over Action Comics and Superman that I didn't much care for. So they halted all the Superman books and to release a miniseries called The Man of Steel. Very similar, I guess, to the concept of the 1980s where John Byrne rebooted Superman. And this one has a story about this evil alien that hated Kryptonians, so he took it upon himself to destroy Krypton and now he wants to wipe out the last Kryptonians, and they set up this mystery that no one knows what happens to Lois Lane and John Kent, Superman and Lois's son, and you get like little snippets of what's going on. And you have Man of Steel #2. Got Old Man Logan issue 39, where Old Man Logan's healing factor is taking a hit, and he's not healing right. He's blind in one eye, and one of his claws got cut off and doesn't have the adamantium anymore. Continuing in Old Man Logan issue 40. Then we got the last all-new Wolverine story, issue 35. This sets up a storyline in the future where Laura is old and her healing factor is degenerating, but before she goes, she wants to stop Doctor Doom, that is the last villain in the world. And then this is the last issue of All New Wolverine. They rebooted Laura. She's no longer Wolverine. She's just X-23 again, which I think is a bad idea. I really like Laura as Wolverine because she became a legacy character. But they already announced that Wolverine's going to come back with the stupidest power that his claws are going to superheat for stupid reasons, I guess. Picked up Astonishing X-Men issue 10. Astonishing X-Men issue 11. And Astonishing X-Men issue 12. This is the last of the Man Called X storyline, where Professor Xavier comes back to life, inhabits Phantom X's body, but he's like a fusion of Phantom X and Professor Xavier. Picked up X-Men Gold issue 24. X-Men Gold issue 25. Double-sized issue. X-Men Gold issue 26. Which they were hyping, much like Batman was hyping the wedding of Batman and Catwoman. This one is hyping the wedding of Colossus and Kitty Pryde. Issue 27. Issue 28. And issue 29. So that was the first batch of books that were in my file, and as the weeks went by, new books came out. Fantastic Four is coming back. They are coming back to the Marvel Universe. They got the rights back to the characters, and now they are pumping comic books because pretty sure they're going to come back, or they're going to be introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So to celebrate the momentous occasion of the return of the Fantastic Four, they released a whole bunch of True Believers $1 comic books. And this is True Believers, What If Spider-Man had joined the Fantastic Four, forming the Fantastic Five. This is a classic What If issue, and I'm a sucker for What If stories. One of my favorite series is the What If line, and this is an issue that goes for a pretty penny. So to get it for $1, yes please. Then this is a reprint of an issue of Fantastic Four that has the new Fantastic Four that was Spider-Man, Hulk, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine against the old Fantastic Four. That's the Human Torch, Invisible Woman, the Thing, and Mr. Fantastic. So really cool. Now, this one is a reprint of The Coming of Galactus, the introduction to the Watcher, the Silver Surfer, and Galactus. Now at the end of this one, Galactus is green. And in the following issue, they decided to make him purple. So that's very weird. And he looks weird in green, but key issue for $1, yes please. And this one is the wedding of Reed Richards and Susan Storm. Reprint of a classic key issue. And the big one for me, the one that I am super hyped to get, I don't know if I mentioned this before, Doctor Doom is my favorite Marvel villain. Wolverine's my favorite Marvel superhero, but Doctor Doom is my favorite Marvel villain. I just love Doctor Doom. I'm actually thinking of building a Doctor Doom costume one day. But I just freaking love Doctor Doom, and his first appearance goes for a pretty penny, and I do try to collect all the books where he appears in. So for $1, I got the first appearance reprint of Doctor Doom. Now I am tickled pink. that I own this. I don't collect comic books for you know, if this is gonna go up in value. It's not. It's a reprint. It's a buck reprint. But I like reading the stories. That's my thing. That's my jam. And I'm super happy to be able to read the first appearance of Dr. Doom. Next one I got is a reprint of Marvel 2-in-1 with the Thing against Man-Thing. I prefer Swamp Thing better than Man-Thing. But I can imagine this is Swamp Thing against Ben Grimm. Then a reprint of Fantastic Four that has the first fight between the Hulk and the Thing. Awesome. And another reprint of... I almost had got all the Fantastic Four True Believers books. The only one I didn't get was the one that reprinted the birth of Valeria, because I think I already have that. At least I hope I already have it. And this one has Galactus, who's my second favorite Marvel villain, against the High Evolutionary, which makes me super happy that I got his reprinted first appearance, even though it's only in the last panel. I don't really I consider this the Silver Surfer's first appearance, but the next issue that they didn't reprint is his complete first appearance, so I need to get that one. Picked up some more Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan 41. It has him facing off against a Kraven the Hunter, who I thought was dead, but apparently is back to life. So you got Old Man Logan against Kraven in the Savage Land, which is always good. And you got issue 43. It has him facing off again against Bullseye. And issue 44. And Bullseye's the one that threw a bottle cap in Wolverine's, Old Man Logan's eye and left him blind. They already announced that this series is going to end in issue 50. So in issue 50, Old Man Logan is going to get canceled to make way for the returning 616 Wolverine. Like I mentioned, they took Laura out of the Wolverine persona. So now you just have the X-23 book. So she's back. It's the same character, the same supporting cast. It's just not called Wolverine, it's called X-23. Well, I really, really dig the character of X-23, so yes. And in this one, her and Honey Badger are going against the Cuckoo sisters, which are clones of Emma Frost. Picked up Doomsday Clock issue 6. This series is taking its sweet-ass time to release. I still can't justify the $5 price tag on a book that's super thin and not enough. The artwork's pretty cool. The story's building up something cool, but you can't charge $5 for this. But I like where it's going. It's still building everything up, so we'll see. Picked up Astonishing X-Men issue 13, a new story arc with Havoc, Beast, Dazzler, Colossus, Warpath, and they're going to introduce someone else that's on the cover. I don't know. I don't know what. I need to drop an X-Men book, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be X-Men Gold. Picked up. They released a couple of these preludes to the wedding, but I picked up this one because it's the Joker and Harley Quinn, and this one is right before the Joker decides to mess with Batman and Catwoman, so bought it. Man of Steel issue 3, Man of Steel issue 4, Man of Steel issue 5, and I'm not talking about these for a reason, Man of Steel number 6. And Brian Michael Bendis has killed Superman for me. I didn't like the New 52 Superman. I thought he was pretty bad. Then they reintroduced the pre-Flashpoint Superman, married to Lois Lane, and they had a kid. I love that version of Superman. That's why I got Superman in Action Comics. I got excited about Superman in Action Comics, and in this miniseries, Brian Michael Bendis brings his crappy ideas from Marvel and takes away Lewis and Jonathan Kent. Jor-El somehow comes back and wants to take Jonathan to train him, and Jonathan and Lois Lane are like, yeah, we'll do it, and they leave. So Brian Michael Bendis has left a solitary single Superman, and that sucks. It's Spider-Man all over again. So I am dropping Superman. I am officially dropping Superman. I didn't get Superman #1 or Superman #2 that's been released. I didn't get Action Comics 1001 because I read this miniseries, and this miniseries killed Superman for me. So thanks a lot, Brian Michael Bendis. You ruined Superman. Picked up X-Men Gold issue 30. They were pumping the wedding of Colossus and Kitty Pryde a lot, hyping the hell out of it. And in the end, Kitty Pryde decides that she's not going to marry Colossus. But the people that do tie the knot, because there is a wedding in this, Gambit and Rogue get married. So that's interesting. But yeah, they build up the wedding of Colossus and Kitty Pryde, and then curveball didn't happen. Picked up X-Men Gold issue 31. And then X-Men Gold issue 32, which I haven't read. They've already announced that X-Men Gold is going to get canceled because they're going to bring back Uncanny X-Men. So that will work out great because I was going to dump X-Men Gold anyway, so that's going to get taken care of. Picked up Batman 49, which is really, I read this one and it's a really, really good issue. Between Catwoman, nice interaction between Catwoman and the Joker. I really, really like this issue. And then the other wedding that was being hyped to hell was Batman 50, the wedding of Catwoman and Batman. And much like the Kitty Pryde and Colossus wedding, I don't know if they swapped notes or if they both had the same idea at the same time, but Batman does not marry Catwoman. A lot of people, it's very weird, comic book fans are very weird. A lot of people were pissed because they announced that Batman was going to marry Catwoman. So everyone got pissed, like, oh, you can't make Batman marry Catwoman. Batman is a solitary person. He would never get married. And everyone was bitching about how Batman can't marry Catwoman. This thing comes out, and everyone starts bitching like, oh, why didn't you marry Batman and Catwoman? You should have done it. Well, you ruined it. So you can't please people. Obviously, you cannot please people. If they would have gone ahead with the wedding, people would have been pissed. They didn't go ahead with the wedding. People are still pissed. So comic book fans are weird. The writer even got a bunch of death threats. And so when he was at Comic-Con, he had a bodyguard to watch out for him. So people are weird. But I like the run. This run is pretty cool. The artwork's pretty cool. I like what they're doing with Batman. And the last book is Batman 51, which has Bruce Wayne being called for jury duty, so he can't be Batman. But Dick Grayson is Batman, and Mr. Freeze is on trial, and Bruce Wayne gets to see what happens behind the scenes, because now he's a jury member, so he gets to see what happens when a Batman case falls into the jury. So very, very, very cool stuff. But yeah, that was the comic books that were awaiting for me since I was in Limbo. Like always, I like to recommend the best books that I read the month, and that's going to be Batman. I usually tend to recommend Batman, but Batman is freaking Batman. They really, really know how to protect the character. And as of right now, the only two DC books that I'm going to buy is Batman and Countdown, which is a miniseries that's still going. But that's only a 12-issue miniseries. And once that's done, the only DC book that I'm going to buy is Batman. And the way Marvel is going, the only Marvel books I'm going to buy are X-23 and whatever Wolverine book they release. But the idea of Wolverine having super heated claws is stupid. So I'll buy the first issue, and if I don't like how that's going, I'll drop. I won't pick up any more Wolverine. So I will only buy Batman, Countdown till that's done, and X-23 if Wolverine sucks. If not, I'll only pick up 4 books. And whatever nice $1 books that come out. So they're $1, and they're reprints of really cool little storylines that I will not be able to afford, because there is no way in hell that I can afford a first appearance of Doctor Doom. There's no way in hell that I can afford a first appearance of Galactus. And I want to read the story, and I don't want to buy a big-ass trade. I just want the single issue, and these are great. So I don't know what the next wave of True Believers is going to be, but whatever it is, if it's as good as Fantastic Four, because these were freaking amazing. They reprinted a lot of really cool issues. I'll pick up those, and they're $1. You know, I won't get in trouble for a black comic book. Maybe. I hope not. But yeah, that's the state of my comic book collection. I cleared out everything that was on file, and the comic book collecting is going to get shorter and shorter ever since I got rid of Wonder Woman, Superman, Action Comics, Justice League, and I got rid of an X-Men book. Yeah, the comic books are going to be more... The comic book pickup videos are going to be less and far between, but whenever I do pick up some stuff, I'll share it with you guys. So, I still got one more video to do, and then I have to deal with Macabro. But until I see you all again next time, this is Vargas, recording from the Vargas Vault. Thanking you all, and signing out.